Hello, in this tutorial, AccuTrans 3D will be used to write selected layers to an output file. This procedure works regardless of the 3D file format used for reading and writing files, provided that AccuTrans can write the input file format to the output file format. Modo XLO files will be used because they are binary, and AccuTrans reads and writes binary files quicker. Now, this model has 17 layers and over 4 million triangles. If any layers that have the green check mark in front of them will be written to the output file. So I could select click on the option button, or go to File, Save with Options to open a dialog box. Now, I've already have Modo selected as the output file format. I will select this button to write one layer per file, and then I'll click on Save and select the multi-layers folder. And you don't have to worry about this name. AccuTrans takes care of the naming for you. This is just the default name that it uses. I'll click Save, and the files are now being written. Okay, all the files have been written, and now I'm going to remove the check mark so that I go back to the normal way of writing files, and I'll click the close button, which will close this dialog box, plus delete the model that's in the view window. Okay, that's gone. Now I have a button here for multi-open, or I could click on the File Multi-Open menu. This dialog box opens. I click this to add a new file, and the files were stored in multi-layers, so I'll select it. Now I can click on just one file and then click Open, and that file will be copied to the dialog box that we just left. Or I can hold down the Control key and select whichever files I want without selecting them all. Or if I want to select them all, I can click on the first one, scroll down, hold down the Shift key, and click on the last one, and now they're all selected. Now, depending on the Windows operating system being used, there's a maximum number of files that Windows will allow you to select at one time. And so I'll click Open, and they read. Now, if you weren't able to select all the files that you needed, just click on the Add New button and go back and select the ones you weren't able to select before. Now I'll click on the OK button, and all the files are being read in. The status bar is showing us what's happening. Each file is held in its own area, and once AccuTrans has read all the files, it assembles them into one model, and then we'll show you the final result. Okay, all 17 files have been read, and we have our model back. Now, to turn layers off that we don't want to display in the window and have written to the file, we just have to click on the green check mark, and it turns to a red X, and it's no longer visible, and that file will not be written to the output file. Now we'll turn that back on. Another way of turning off files is to position the cursor over the layer, and the layers are always indicated down here. Is we position the cursor on the layer, hold down both the Control and the Shift key, and click the right mouse button, and that layer is gone. So I'm also going to turn off this layer, get rid of the building, get rid of this tank, get rid of this tank, get rid of the walkway, get rid of the road, and that was the road I got rid of, then the walkway, and then we'll get rid of this base. So now I have 9 layers left on, and if I wanted I could just click the Save As button or go back to the Option button, make sure I've got the right one layer turned off. Click Save, and I'll back up one folder. I'll click on the Parts folder, and now I'll change the name here, and I'll say I'm saving to Part 1, and I'll click Save, and that file's being written. Okay, so I'll click No, so I'm back here. Now, this button will turn on all the layers, make them visible. This one will turn off all the layers, and this one will reverse the layers so that a layer that's on will go off and one that's off will be turned on. So I'm going to click on it, and now they switched around, and I've got these layers on which I hadn't saved before. I'll click the Save As button. I'll click on Part 1, and I'll change it to Part 2 and do a save. Okay, so now I could go and turn on all the layers, and we're seeing our whole model again. So I'll close this down. Okay, there's nothing there. Now I'll go back to Open, and I'm in multi-layers, so I'll click here and I'll take the Parts folder, and now I'll click on Part 1 and do an Open, and that file is loading. And it only has 9 layers. Okay, there's our model with the other layers missing. Now, if I just click Open again, and click on Part 2, the file that was loaded into AccuTrans will be deleted, and Part 2 will be read in. And we've got 8 layers, and there we are with all the other stuff missing. Now, I have an Add button here, and there's also a file, Add New File. So I'll click on the Add New File, and now we want to add Part 1 in with the layers that were in Part 2, and I'll click Open. And now that file is being read, and then the whole model will be reassembled. Okay, so we're back to 17 layers and over 4 million triangles. So that's all you have to do to read and write files. Goodbye.